In this unit, we are going to speak about the scanners as input devices. As you may know, we use the term scanner usually to refer to image scanners, but if we check the scan definition, we can see that more devices fit in the description, because a scan is to examine some object systematically, usually by passing a beam of radiation over or through it, in order to obtain data, especially for display or storage. So in this lesson, we are going to review some of the most used scanning devices. First, we will speak about image scanners. Image scanners are devices that capture an image of a print document or photo and create a digital representation of it. Nowadays, we can do the same by taking a photo with a digital photo camera or even with a smartphone, but the image we will get with the scanner is going to be much better usually because they take the image in a controlled environment with the right amount of light. There are several technologies used for image scanners, and most of them are based on using a controlled source of light to illuminate the document or the photo and moving an image capturing device to scan it all along the document or photo. Nowadays, most of these scanners are connected to the computer using a USB port. The first scanners were handheld scanners. They didn't use a platen to put the documents. They were handheld, as I said, and you have to drag it along the surface of the image to scan it. If you didn't scan it steadily, you could get an uneven scanning and product distorted images. Usually they had a light indicator telling if the motion was too fast. As they were much narrower than most of the documents, you had to scan it in several strips, and then a software or even the user would put that together. The most common scanners today are flatbed scanners. That is usually they are usually composed of a glass pane that's also called a platen, under which there is a bright light source which illuminates all the surface. And then you put the document or the photo on it, and a moving CCD sensor captures the image a lot of times by reflections in a couple of mirrors. They have accessories to support films, for example, to scan films, although there are special scanners for films, and they can have also other accessories like, for example, document feeders to help you when you are scanning documents with several sheets or several documents that are composed of sheets. They can be used when you're scanning documents. They can be used with optical character recognition software, that's called OCR, to get a digital text version of the content of the scanned image. If you need a very portable scanner, or you're going to use it mainly to scan documents with several sheets, instead of a flatbed scanner, you can use a roller scanner. A roller scanner, what does is it scans the document when passing through rotating rollers. They can only scan sheets up to a specified width, but they can be very compact, and as they require only a couple of narrow rollers. So some of them are portable, and they even work with batteries and have their own storage, so you can scan documents without having a computer and later transfer it using a USB port. For scanning documents, roller scanners facilitate the task of inserting one sheet after another. So sometimes if you're only going to scan documents, you will prefer a roller scanner. You also have scanners in photocopiers. Modern photocopiers are based in scanners, and they can have a network port or network interface that lets you ask for a scanned document, or lets the photocopier to send the document to an email address once the scanning task is finished. Fax machines that sometimes are called telecopying or telefax, they also have a scanner because they scan a document and send it using the telephone network to another fax machine. The original document is scanned, then it's processed, and you have a binary image. Then you send these using audio tones using the telephone network, and the receiving fax machine is capable of reconstructing the document and then printing it. If you want to use your computer as a fax machine, you can find modem expansion cards that are able to send and receive faxes using the telephone network. There are also specialized scanners like optical mark readers, also known as scanner machines, that are scanners designed to read specially designed sheets marked with a pencil. That's, for example, to input a lot of exams, quizzes that the students have done, and instead of making it manually, you can input them with these scanners into the computer system. You can also find 3D scanners that are devices that analyze a real-world object or environment and collect the data on its shapes and possibly on its appearance, and then they construct a 3D model. We have also other specialized scanners, as for example magnetic ink character recognition readers, MICR. That is a technology used by banks to speed up the clearance of issued checks by reading information such as the bank identifier, check tracking number, and customer account number. Other kind of specialized scanners are barcode readers. Barcode readers read information that is coded in printed bars, usually numeric codes, but with modern codes you can put an alphanumeric information, like for example web URLs. They are used in a lot of different applications from some time ago, from something 30 years or something like that. For example, you will have seen it you would have seen it, for example, in the payment cash registers of retail stores, or in the airports, in the labels that they put in your luggage, because they are used to classify luggage in the airports. You have unidirectional barcodes and bidirectional barcodes known as QRs that have greater readability and greater storage capacity. They can store, for example, a web URL, so you can scan them with an app in your mobile phone and send you to this website. Usually the barcode readers are connected to the computer also using an USB port, and in some legacy cases they will be connected with a serial port. Magnetic card readers are another type of scanners. They are used to read credit cards, identification cards, ATM cards, and any other card that has a magnetic strip. And in this magnetic strip there is customer information stored. You can find them in manual swipe readers and also in automatic readers in which the card is inserted. And finally, we're going to see RFIDs, that are radio frequency identification tags. These are tags that are attached to objects and use radio waves to identify and track its movements. Some of them collect energy from the interrogating radio waves of the reader and act as a passive transponder, so they don't need any battery. But they have the problem that you have to put the reader very near them. And others, they have an incorporated battery, and so they can operate at hundreds of meters from the reader. Their advantage is that they don't need to be within line of sight of the reader like barcodes need to. So they might be embedded in the tracked object or be quite far from the object, so they are substituting barcodes in a lot of different applications.